most probably some equations I will write on the board also. So let us think about the chemical reactivity or properties of oxygen, dioxygen. You can put the heading properties of dioxygen, properties. Uh, Properties simply means physical property and chemical property. Physical property we can discuss first. As far as physical properties are concerned, oxygen, dioxygen is a colorless, odorless gas, and you know that it is slightly soluble in water. Okay, slightly soluble in water. What is the application of this solubility of oxygen in water? What is the
Aquatic life.
For the survival
very
of
good, very
marine
good.
life.
Aquatic life is sustained with the help of this dissolved oxygen in water. Okay, very good. And it is also important for decomposition of organic waste. It is also required, important. So these are general physical properties of dioxygen. Now let us think about the chemical property. Very simple chemical property is there. 2 points we will discuss in detail. First of all, generally, dioxygen shows very less reactivity under normal condition. First, and it is in the form of a question: why dioxygen is less reactive under normal condition? What is the reason? Maybe you can guess. What is the reason? What may be the reason behind it? Any idea? Dioxygen is less reactive. Why? Why is
The
it?
high electron.
I am talking of dioxygen. Dioxygen means O2. So, high electronegativity ionization, this is all related to elemental oxygen, O, simple oxygen. And we are talking of molecular oxygen, dioxygen, O2. Why this is less reactive?
And bond dissociation
Very
enthalpy.
good, Aish. Bond dissociation enthalpy is very high. Bond dissociation means dioxygen, there is a double covalent bond or double bond O. So, because of this double bond, it is highly stable. Moreover, when we are calculating, estimating the value of bond enthalpy or bond dissociation enthalpy, it is near about 494.6 kilojoule per mole. 494.6 kilojoule per mole, you can imagine, very high it is. So, because of these 2 points, because of these two reasons, it is less reactive, but it reacts with the metals, non-metals, or compounds under elevated temperature. Elevated means when the temperature is higher than room temperature, little more higher. So it reacts with the metals, non-metals, and the compounds. In each case, we will discuss one reaction. It is more than sufficient. First of all, we'll discuss one reaction with the metal. We can write simple example: calcium Ca plus O2, giving calcium oxide. So calcium belongs to highly reactive category. And one more example we can remember: aluminium. Aluminium reacts with oxygen, forming aluminium oxide. So these two examples we can coin from metals. Second part is how it reacts with non-metal. So non-metal, you can take one example, nitrogen. How it reacts with the dinitrogen. Write it down. N2 plus O2 giving which compound? Nitric oxide. It is stable. NO, nitric oxide, and here also temperature is high, temperature is required. Another example, most common example, carbon reacts with oxygen, forming carbon dioxide. So carbon is a non-metal. It reacts with oxygen, forming carbon dioxide. Clear? So this is all about a reaction with the non-metal. Now let us think about a reaction of dioxygen with a compound. A compound, what all we have learned regarding compound with oxygen, we will discuss one example. We can write zinc blend, ZnS, zinc sulfide reacts with the dioxygen, forming which are the products obtained? Zinc oxide and sulfur dioxide. Okay, so that means simple oxidation of zinc blend because it is the ore of zinc. So this is all about dioxygen. Now, chemical property.
Ma'am, can you repeat the reaction?
With zinc sulfide. Okay,
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
ZNS, you know that ZNS zinc sulfide, ZNS plus oxygen O2 giving simple. Zinc undergo oxidation forming zinc oxide. Sulfur undergo oxidation forming sulfur dioxide. Okay, balance the equation. Okay, we can balance the equation. So this is all about the chemical reaction. Then next topic related to dioxygen is related to dioxygen. That is simple oxide. Simple oxide. अभी अभी जो समीर ने जो क्लास लिया था कुछ लोगों को याद होगा simple oxides. So simple oxides generally classified under 4 category. 4. Which are they? Metal oxide, non-metal oxide, neutral oxide, amphoteric oxide. 4 different type of oxides are there. Metal oxide, non-metal oxide, or another way of saying the same point, we can categorize it as acidic oxide, basic oxide, amphoteric oxide, and neutral oxide. Okay, acidic, basic, amphoteric, and neutral. One category, and amphoteric oxide and neutral. These 4 are there. So let us analyze this in this way, conceptual way. First of all, acidic oxide. So simply, what do you mean by acidic oxide? When a non-metal reacts with oxygen, non-metal reacts with oxygen, forming non-metal oxide, and this non-metal oxide reacts with water, forming an acid. Therefore, all non-metal oxides are mostly non-metal oxides are, exceptions are there, mostly non-metal oxides are acidic oxide, or they are acidic in nature. Okay, got it? First category, acidic oxide. Non-metal reacts with oxygen, forming non-metal oxide which are acidic in nature. Why? Because they reacts with water, forming as corresponding acid. Very simple example we can remember. SO3, sulfur trioxide, reacts with water, forming. Add all the elements. What is the product obtained? Which acid is formed?
H2SO4, sulfuric acid.
Very good, Manju. Sulfuric acid, H2SO4. Okay, if you want, you can write. Another example, nitrogen pentoxide, N2O5. N2O5 reacts with water, forming the most stable acid of nitrogen. Can you say which one is that? Most stable.
Nitric acid.
HNO3.
HNO3. Very good. Very good, Ayush. HNO3 is formed. So you can write the equation N2O5 plus H2O giving HNO3. Okay. So this is regarding acidic oxide. Second, basic oxide. Basic oxide, again we can remember general concept. When a metal reacts with oxygen, forming metal oxide, and metal oxides are basic in nature. The reason is these metal oxides, when reacts with water, forming bases. Bases means compounds with the OH group. Clear? Metal plus oxygen forming metal oxide, acid, basic in nature. The reason is metal oxides reacts with water, forming corresponding base. Base means the compounds with OH. Okay, very simple example you can write. Sodium oxide, highly reactive metal sodium. What is the formula of sodium? Simple sodium oxide. What is the formula? Anyone? Formula?
Na2O.
Na2O, very good. Na2O, simple oxide, because sodium is capable of forming peroxide also. That's why simple oxide is Na2O. Okay, so Na2O reacts with water, forming sodium hydroxide. Okay, single product is formed, sodium hydroxide. Equation is over. Another example you can remember with barium, barium oxide. Sodium belongs to first group and barium belongs to second group. So barium oxide, what is the formula? Barium,
BAO.
BaO, both having the valency 2. That's why BaO plus H2O, giving what?
BAO Joule twice.
Okay, very good. Barium hydroxide. So these two examples are more than sufficient. Now come to the next category, amphoteric oxides. Amphoteric oxides are those oxides capable of reacting with both acid and base. Capable of reacting with both acid and base, known under the name amphoteric oxide. You can write one example or two examples. Aluminium oxide and zinc oxide. Aluminium oxide, Al2O3, and the zinc oxide is Zn2. Okay, so you can justify amphoteric nature with the help of one example. So you can put aluminum oxide, Al2O3 plus HCl, write down the products yourself. Similarly, Al2O3 plus NaOH. What is the product of it? This equation is known to you, that's why we are not wasting much time for this equation. Okay, these are the three different type of oxides, and the fourth type is neutral oxide. Neutral oxides, they neither react with acid nor react with a base, and they are totally neutral in nature. So you can write some example: nitrous oxide, nitric oxide, then carbon monoxide. These are the three examples you can write under the category neutral oxide. Okay, neutral oxide. Clear? So this is all about the what? This is all about dioxygen. Okay, over. Now let us think about the next topic. You can put it ozone. Is it visible to you? Ozone.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I will continue with the same method only because here we want some equation and all. So ozone, first of all, you'll think about the method of preparation. Okay. Method of preparation, I will simply write the equation corresponding to that. When silent electric discharge is passed through, I will tell you again. Okay, so now you just listen carefully. When silent electric discharge is passed through dry oxygen, it should be dry. Silent electric discharge passes through dry oxygen gas, it gets converted into balance the equation like this. Then this is not a thermochemical equation. We can write thermochemical equation. Here we can write that value is important. Plus 142 kilojoule per mole. Plus 142 kilojoule per mole. Okay. So this is the basic equation. One equation is there so that you can remember. Now I will explain the process. When silent electric discharge is passed through dry oxygen, every point is important. Dry oxygen, we get ozone. Clear? So this is the method of preparation. Now the question is, why dry oxygen? Why dry oxygen? Because oxygen is little soluble in water. You know that it's slightly soluble in water. So that's why we have to avoid moisture associated with the oxygen. So dry oxygen should be there. Or one more reason is there, we are using electricity. Then again it will create problem. Now what do you mean by silent electric discharge? What is the meaning? Silent electric discharge. Silent electric discharge means what? Any idea? Or why we are using silent electric discharge? Any answer? No answer. Think it.
For minus charge, negative charge.
Think it again, Ayush. Okay, silent electric discharge means voltage will be less, very less. Okay, why we are using silent electric discharge? Suppose we are using high voltage through dioxygen, then what will happen? Then what will happen? Ozone will be formed. But as soon as ozone will be formed, it decomposes into molecular oxygen and nascent oxygen. Okay, decomposition will be takes place as quickly as possible. Ozone will be formed, but it will not be stay at the medium. Anyway, through this process also, we will get an ozone sample with 10%, only 10% concentration of ozone. We will get, very important. Okay, what is the problem with the 10% that we will discuss today only? 10%, this concentration you need to mention there, 10% oxygen will be there, used. Okay, then the instrument, that means apparatus used for the preparation of ozone is called the ozonizer. So, do you remember the structure of tuning fork? Tuning fork, yaad hai? Where we are using tuning fork? Have you used it?
साउंड के लिए था.
Where we are using it?
Vibration.
Vibration. Where we are using? In the school, have you used it? Tuning fork? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Where, Amir? Which lab?
Physics lab.
Ma'am, in classroom, sir shows us the experiment.
Okay. Related to which subject? Yeah?
Ma'am, oscillation and waves.
Physics. So physics lab, it is there. Tuning fork. Have you seen tuning fork? Have you seen?
Yes, ma'am.
So the shape of ozonizer is just like that tuning fork.
Hearing impairment check करने के लिए use होता है.
Correct. So the structure of the apparatus ozonizer is similar to that of tuning fork. Imagine the two hands through that silent electric discharge is passed. Okay, so one cathode and one anode, that two ends. This it is the similar structure. It has the similar structure that of tuning fork. Okay, anyway, so this is all about the ozone. Now let us think about the properties of ozone. It is also important. First of all, it is a pale blue gas. It has the color, pale blue color it has. Pale blue color. Ozone has a color, pale blue. And second point, it is heavier than air. Heavier. It is heavier than air. You know, it has a characteristic smell. It has a characteristic smell. Okay. Then, suppose we inhale ozone. What will happen? Any problem will happen? Because nowadays ozone is used in different field as a disinfectant for bleaching purpose and all. Because it will not create any pollution problem. So some cases, some other substances are replaced by ozone. Some field like bleaching purpose it is using, disinfectant purpose it is using. So my question is, suppose we are inhaling ozone, anything will happen?
We will die.
Die. Okay. Why not? But there is a limit. Suppose we are inhaling ozone and its concentration is less than 100 ppm. ppm means what? Parts per million. So the concentration of hydrogen peroxide, ozone is less than 100 parts per million. Then it will not make any harmful effects in our body. But if the concentration exceed the limit, 100 parts per million, then it causes nausea and headache. Death will not happen, but if the concentration is increasing, so then it creates problem. So that's why it is used in some field. Up to 100 parts per million, it will not create any health issues. But if exceeding the value 100, then it will create problem. Okay. Now, another question is, I have told you, we when we prepared ozone, the concentration is only 10%. So this 10% concentration is more than sufficient, and we are not increasing the concentration. So we are keeping a concentration of ozone up to 10%, not exceeding that value. So, and the reason is very interesting. You can look at this equation, which I have already mentioned. You can see that what is the indication of plus 142 kilojoule per mole. What does it indicate?
Endothermic.
Endothermic.
Endothermic reaction. And imagine that, not imagine, I've already told you, instead of silent electric discharge, if we are using high voltage, then what will happen? Ozone converted into O2. O2 and nascent oxygen. So I'll write that equation on the board. O2 and imagine that this is a reverse. Not imagine exactly it happened when we are using high electric discharge. This is the reaction takes place. So forward reaction is endothermic. Then what is that? Third reaction is according to nature here principle is mixture. Then what is the value of delta H? Delta H value is for which reaction? Backward reaction. So you can write it backward. Backward reaction means when ozone decomposes into oxygen. So along with oxygen, one more product will be also formed. So then what is that product? Ozone under decomposition forming O2 plus. One more product is also there. O2 is there. Then in addition to that, we get nascent oxygen. So this is the reaction. Now, enthalpy change associated with this reaction is negative. So that means this reaction is exothermic. Remember that value delta H. Delta H is negative. Then what about delta S? Delta S. Delta S value. What value is delta H? What do you think? Delta H is negative. What about delta S value? Change in entropy. Is it positive or negative?
Positive.
Is it increasing or decreasing?
Positive.
Disorder of the system will increase because oxygen is there and nascent oxygen is there. So we can write it as delta S is positive. Okay, delta H is negative and delta S is positive. Now let us think about one formula which is related to thermodynamic principle. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Delta G is equal to delta. This is called the Gibbs-Emmons equation. Delta G equal to delta H minus T delta S. Under this process, what will happen? Delta H is negative. So here we have a negative value. And T delta S is positive. So one positive and here there is negative. Again, this value is negative. So ultimately we can say that delta G is highly negative. Delta G is highly. Delta G means change in free energy is highly negative. It means if the concentration exceed, explosion may take place. It is very, very dangerous. Explosion takes place. So in order to justify that, you need to write this thermodynamic equation. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. So and to justify these fault points. Okay. Because of this reason, the concentration is always maintained as 10%. So this is very important. Okay, understood the reason? So the decomposition of ozone is exothermic. So that means delta H is negative, delta S is positive, and which when applied to the equation, delta G is highly negative. Delta G is highly negative means the reaction, the process is spontaneous. Moreover, the process is very dangerous. So that means explosion may take place. Because of this reason, the concentration is always fixed as 10%. high concentration can't be used. So silent electric discharge is a particular way we can prepare the product up to that concentration which we want. Okay, so that is all about the physical property. Now let us think about the chemical properties. Okay, chemical properties are also very important. Why is it important? Because ozone is a thermally unstable compound. It undergo dissociation forming dioxygen and nascent oxygen. This nascent oxygen is highly reactive. So, ozone is function as a powerful oxidizing agent. Ozone is a powerful oxidizing agent. Now, let us think about some areas where this property is applicable. In our day-to-day life also some examples are there. So first of all, let us think about one which is related to our day-to-day life. Okay, because this you can correlate very easily. So maybe you know that from the advertisement also you know that nowadays hydrogen peroxide is also used for disinfectant. Ozone can be also used. See, one machine is there. It is, I don't remember that. Maybe it is related to aquaguard. So there ozone is used to clean vegetables, which we are collecting from the market. Okay, so that is one field it is using. And another field I am telling you, you know that paints are of different color. Paint is a colloid. And suppose it is a white paint. One of the component of white paint is lead. When we apply white paint on wall, after a period of time, that white color fade and it become black. What is the reason behind that? Why is it become black? Any idea? Paint become black. Maybe it is a common phenomenon. White paints become black after a period of time. Why is it so? What is the reason?
Maybe atmospheric oxidation.
Think about atmosphere. If it undergo atmospheric oxidation, so lead is not a highly reactive metal. So it will not react with oxygen directly. Any other clue? Because now only we have learned that oxygen is inert at room temperature. So how is it possible? Any other possibility?
Ma'am, it formed lead oxide.
That exactly. So oxide is not formed. Any other possibility? Lead oxide is black in color, I know. Any other possibilities there?
Lead hydroxide.
Okay, leave it. You know that in atmosphere, small quantity of hydrogen sulfide is also present, H2S. So lead react with H2S forming lead sulfide, PBS. It is black in color. Okay. Then sulfur dioxide is also formed. In some areas it is also decomposition of organic matter create H2S, SO2 is also there. And this, how can we regain the color of paints? There we are using ozone. How is it possible? We can write the equation. PBS plus O3, lead sulfide. We are talking of lead sulfide. PBS reacts with O3. Say, what is the product obtained? Any idea? Ozone undergo decomposition, we get nascent oxygen and dioxygen. And dioxygen is there. So it reacts with this forming PbSO4. This is one product. And second product is the main product of ozone, that is O2. PbSO4 and O2. This is a reaction takes place. Okay. Now, nascent oxygen is not there in the equation. Why is it not there in the equation? So maybe you are remembering that in 11th class we have learned how to write the equation. When we add up two equations, we get a net equation. This way here also we can write that equation. O3 undergo decomposition forming O2 plus O. Then PBS undergo reaction forming PbSO4. This is the way we can sum up it. Anyway, this equation is more than sufficient. This equation is balanced. Check it. How to balance the equation?
Ma'am, 2.
So 4O2 is there, and lead sulfate is a precipitate that we can clear with the help of water. So when we clean it properly, so by applying ozone, after applying ozone, so we will get that white color back. So this is the reaction behind the process. Okay, this is one application of oxidizing property of ozone. Another reaction also you can remember that equation you have to write. It is also used for the estimation process, estimation of ozone. There we are using oxidizing property of ozone. Okay, what is the equation related to that? Ozone react with potassium iodide. You can write the equation. So here I will use that split method. Okay, which is the first equation related to oxidizing property. Write it down like this: O3 gives O2 plus nascent oxygen. This is equation number 1. Ozone react with the potassium iodide solution. What does it mean, solution? Solution means potassium iodide with the water. Ki plus H2O gives. What are the products obtained? Main product obtained is iodine. Second product is potassium hydroxide, KOH. So you can balance the equation here only 2Ki and 2KOH. Right? And here we can add what is responsible for this reaction? Nascent oxygen is responsible. So this equation is there. This is equation number 2. Add this to equation. Add it. When we add this equation, this nascent oxygen get cancelled like this. Add this 2Ki plus H2O plus O3 giving I2 plus 2KOH plus. So this is the equation which is important. Why is it important? Here we get. And iodine, when applied on starch powder, what will happen? Any biology students can say the answer. Iodine, when treated with starch, what will happen to starch powder?
Ma'am, blue color.
Very good. Iodine become blue. And this property can be used for the estimation of ozone. Estimation of ozone. So, and the process is little different. Ozone react with the potassium iodide solution. We get this product. Then what will happen? This will buffered. Buffer, do you remember? Buffer solution. Okay, have you written this equation? Written? Anyone can say yes. Okay. So that's what
Yes, ma'am.
okay. So buffer solution is the solution which resists the change of pH by adding a small quantity of acid or base. So this solution is buffered. Suppose we are adding indicator during volumetric analysis. Similarly, in this case, we are adding a buffer solution. Buffer solution is, here we are adding a buffer solution and it is known under the name borate solution. 13th group element. Borate solution is added, and when we adding this borate solution to this mixture, then we titrated. Titration, do you remember titration? The pipette, burette and all. Burette we have conical flask. That means Titrating flask, we have collected all these, which are there. Potassium iodide is there, water is there. These all are there in conical flask, and buffer solution is added into conical flask. And in the burette, we have taken sodium thiosulfate, not pink chlorides. Sodium thiosulfate we have added by means of burette. So through burette, we are adding this. And then here we are getting a particular volume. When we apply the principle of volumetric analysis, V1 M1 equal to V2 M2 or V1 N1 equal to V2 N2, so we can calculate the amount of ozone which is present in the sample. So this is the estimation of ozone. Okay, so this is another application. Anyway, you can remember this oxidizing property of ozone, very important. And last one, it is also used as a bleaching agent. And bleaching action of ozone is oxidation reaction. That is important. Bleaching action of ozone is an oxidation reaction. Okay. Now the last topic is related to depletion of ozone layer. Ozone undergo, you know where ozone is present in the atmosphere. One layer of atmosphere called the stratosphere. Upper layer has a layer of ozone, but depletion of ozone layer is taking place due to some reason, due to some pollutant in atmosphere. One among that is oxides of nitrogen. So many oxides are there. Nitrous oxide is there, nitric oxide is there. Out of this, generally we can say that nitrogen oxides. Out of all nitrogen oxide, nitric oxide is very powerful. It reacts with ozone very quickly, forming nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. And because of this, ozone gets consumed. That means depletion of ozone layer taking place. So how nitrogen oxides are formed in the atmosphere? Especially this is present in the exhausts from supersonic jet aeroplanes. Or supersonic jet aeroplanes emit these kind of pollutants when the fuel is burning. So then naturally oxides of nitrogen is formed, depletion of ozone layer will be taking place. Okay, this is all about that. Next topic is structure of ozone. You can draw the structure yourself and compare with the structure which I am trying to draw on the board. Okay, this is the last topic. I will complete that. Okay. You can write the structure. Resonating structure you try to draw. Try to do. Okay. These are the resonating structure. We have a canonical set. These are two canonical structures. We have a resonance hybrid. This is a resonance hybrid, and you know that resonance hybrid means double bond is not permanent. So sometimes this is double bond and this is a single bond, and it has changed. So here we can remember the bond length and bond angle. Bond length is of about 121 picometer and bond angle, this bond angle is about 170. Okay, got it? So last point is uses. It is used as a germicide, disinfectant, sterilizing. It is used for sterilizing water and all. So these are related to ozone. So next class we will discuss about sulfur. Okay, sulfur. I have already told you one topic. It deleted manufacture of sulfuric acid, deleted from our course. Rest of the topic we will continue in the next class. Okay. So any doubt anybody has, you can ask. Related to this topic.